Welcome to Shooty SuperCoach. Going to take a look at the Bombers today. Hopefully you're tracking along nicely. I haven't been able to do a video the last couple of days, so I'll be trying to get a few done today and tomorrow on my days off and working over the weekend. So hopefully I can get a few of those scheduled for you. It's a busy time of year, that's for sure. You got Christmas parties, you got Christmas shopping to do, which I've done none of. Got Kris Kringles and shit like that, and I don't know. What can you get for $50? It's half decent. Gets tougher. Well, it's easy to buy for a kid, just get him some random toy. But adult Kris Kringles, not sure what I think about those. But look, let's move on to some footy. I might do some cricket stuff as well. Probably not too much, but I am pumped to get the Ashes going once again. Test is starting tomorrow, I think. Jai Richardson, still a bit to be unveiled with the team, so I can't wait for that. But if cricket isn't your go, let's talk some footy. Talking Essendon. Hopefully you've been enjoying these previews. If you're back on board already, thanks heaps. And, if you're watching these throughout January and just catching up on them, good to have you back. But the lock for the Bombers, take your pick out of Merritt or Parrish. I think Merritt's the guy that's shown that he's as consistent as there is around that 110 to 115 range. Did it again last year. Where Parrish, he was the explosion, burst out into a fantastic year. Inside midfielder, was right up there in the Brownlow. So I think those two guys, don't see anything changing from them for this season. So I don't think either will feature in my team, but, very good performers in their own right. Now, the breakout contender is a real interesting one for the Bombers. I've got a few names that I'll throw around, some young, some developing. I just want to start with Andy Mcgrath. Now, I don't think he's a guy that we're going to start with, but I just wanted to mention him. Averaged 85. He'll be so much better than that average, I think. So just keep Andy Mcgrath in your sights for a little draft option, I reckon. I feel as if him averaging high 90s, three figures, is pretty possible next year. Now, I'm going to say Sam Draper. I'm going to say it again. I know I went with him last year and he burnt me to an absolute crisp, but I think he's still a guy that's going to be a dominant ruck when he does explode. Now, surely it could be this year. Last year, he was travelling okay until some injuries derailed his season and showed some glimpses. So I expect him to continue to develop. Had a really nice final, I think about 120, 40 odd hit-outs. Of course, just a 72 average overall, but very good final. Gives us a glimpse of what he can do once again. And then a couple of young guys. Ben Hobbs, bit of a slider, but talked about as probably the best pure inside mid that the draft had to offer. And I feel like the Bombers, even though they have a couple of good mids, which I mentioned off the top, I still feel like he could be a guy that could be a really nice cash cow throughout the year. And Zach Reid, one game, scored 53, but the Bombers they're a massive rap for him. So I think he's a guy that defender, don't know too much about his scoring possibility, but just keep an eye on him as well. And the risk is a real interesting one. It's Jake Stringer, averaged 93, but that average was built up by 147, 123, and a 180. But he also had 27, 44, 69. So he is one of the more roller coaster rides that you will have, and that's why he is in the risk category. He played his best footy probably for his career. I think that's fair. Even some of his best footy at the Dogs, I reckon, was the equal to or not even of what he produced in the back half of last year when he really got firing for the Bombers. So that midfield time, exploding out of the centre, and also still hitting the scoreboard, makes him a really nice option. But look, he's not for me. I think he's pretty risky, hence the category. But there will be some people that might be thinking, if he can continue on what he was doing for most of last year, pretty slow start, but he could entice a few people. And no chance for my side. I couldn't really think of anything too interesting. But look, Dyson Heppel, he's been great for us. I wonder, you presume he's got some defender status, I would imagine, after he plonked himself at half back for the most of last year, been a mid for most of his career. And he was great for us last year. Certainly helped my side out with a lot of 90s scores for the most part, but I don't think he's going to be a guy that we look at, even with a defensive status alongside his name. But if you can think of a better one for that, let me know. Otherwise, that is the Bombers. I'll take a look at the Dockers up next. But yeah, if you've got any thoughts on who I should be talking about, or if I miss anyone, feel free to let me know. And yeah, I'll be hoping to schedule a couple of these over the weekend. And yeah, build our way out through December with most of these previews, hopefully. Cheers.